Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ammunation. I am your host, Craig Bragg, and with me, as always, is the indomitable Irving Twin. How are you, sir?
Living the dream. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, not too bad.
You
Went
know,
into
I,
Toronto today. Sorry, go ahead. You're about to say something?
I just wanted to say that opening I realized has a practical function, at least for me.
What's that?
It gives me a moment to make sure the stream is in fact running properly on YouTube and that my sound is off on the stream so we're not echoing through the microphone.
Good call. Good call. Yeah, it's got a function for sure.
Yeah.
Just gets you and I in a position where we can sort of get ready, get psyched. Um, what'd you get up to today? You said you ran some errands. That's about it.
Just running some errands, failed an app.
Yeah, I got you failed to nap. I
Yeah,
like naps.
I
And I'm
love
older than you, so I'll take 2, 3 naps in a day if I get my chances.
I
So,
wish.
no, I had a nap today. Well, first off, I'll go through my own entire day for you because I know everybody's interested. Got up just before 6, had myself some oatmeal with some protein powder in it. Let the puppies out to go do their business. Left the house around 6:20. Went and did a workout for about an hour and a half. Came home, fed the animals, uh, had my real breakfast, which was my eggs and toast, and then I went to the park with puppies. Then I came home, had a nap, and then the wife and I met some friends in Toronto. We went to see the Aladdin musical at the Princess of Wales Theatre. It's a good show. If unfortunately it's leaving like tomorrow. It's only this
Oh
was the
wow.
second last performance, I think. So yeah. So it'll come back though, I'm sure. But it was really really good. It was very well done. Great production value. Um, really good at singing, dancing, acting the whole way through. I do say this though, the wife and I were like getting really frustrated on the road because of all the traffic. I'm like,
Mm.
why do we come into Toronto to see shows? Like, there's lots of theaters in between our house and Toronto to go see a live performance, right? She's like, well, because they're not as good as they are in Toronto. I'll give you, yeah, okay, they got more production value for sure. They will, but it's not Broadway. I don't need to get stuck in traffic for, close to an hour and then, stuck on the Spadina for 15 minutes to go up 2 blocks just to go see a fucking show and then pay $20 for parking. Now, that being said, we went and had a nice dinner at uh, we went and had a nice dinner at a little Japanese restaurant just up the street. So that was fun. That was good. Max trying to get in on the show here. We got a couple of comments. First off, we got CMAC. She was first into the chat. Thank you, CMAC, for popping in. And then we
Beat me
got
to the
Mr.
punch.
Twin saying Emmer Effer because Irving Twin always likes to be the first commenter. But Pox Toxic says he is late. No, you're right on time. And you're totally straight, dude. Don't worry about it. And then we've got CMAC. Dude, where's my car? Are you
What
referring to
why does
the
the
title of
audience
this live
always
stream?
why does the
Sorry.
audience get ahead of us on topics? We'll get there when we get there.
Okay, Mr. Incredible. It's funny. Speaking of which, I got some Mr. Incredible gloves today. This is for the
Ooh,
Canada Man costume. So they're nice, like dark black, sort of like shiny gloves, and they go right up to here on the arm, like right below the elbow. So I'm like, those are perfect, and they're kind of flared a little bit. So if you look at Canada Man in City of Heroes, he's got that sort of flared glove. Well, the
yeah.
new real life Canada Man costume will have a similar flared glove. A few more comments. We have Snow Heel Slim. My fob is by the front door. Good for you. Good for you. Enable criminality in this country. I assume you're in Canada there, Slim.
Toronto,
Uh,
maybe. Yeah.
Greater Ajax. Hey, CMAC. Hey, Pox. LOL, Slim. Hey, Ajax. Good to see you, Snow Heel Slim. I've not seen you here before. I don't know who you are, but welcome aboard. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream.
I
We do
drink a
this every,
lot, so if we've met before, I apologize for not recognizing you.
and I have been known to indulge in an edible from time to time. No comment on whether I have one tonight, but that's okay. You know what? We could get to that right away, but I kind of like to do the "Do you even lift, bro?" and that kind of stuff first. So if you all will indulge us a little bit, let's move on originally. First and foremost, do you even lift, bro? Did you go to the gym today, Mr. Twin?
No, not today.
No way.
Oh, yeah. No, a little hungover.
Gym
So,
last.
would have been yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I have
Yesterday. So,
been going every other day now,
hmm.
so, as opposed to doing like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Basically 7 times in 14 days is my go-to. So yeah, I
Yeah, I
did
do 4
push
days a week, I guess.
push exercises today. So biceps, shoulders, chest, triceps. That's about it. Did about 8 exercises. Calorie wise, I mean, I know the idea is to build strength, but calorie wise, I think I did 486 calories worth of work.
Holy shit, Ajax is watching Five Deadly Venoms.
Oh fuck! I love the Five Deadly Venoms. That was such a great movie, man. Trying to remember the Venoms now. Okay, so we had Scorpion, we had Snake, we had um, stop, we had Toad,
Yeah,
Mantis. Was Mantis one of them?
I don't remember.
You'll have
But
to,
that
you'll
movie
have
was
to.
fun.
And then the fifth one was the guy who wasn't any one of them, but knew a little bit of all of them. I think that's how it was, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be back watching Five Daily Venoms with the youngest. Good for you, Ajax. That's awesome. I don't have a fob. Does that mean I'm getting graped by criminals? Should I get a fake one as a decoy fob? Yeah, go for it, C Mac. Don't lizard
Somehow
and
the
centipede.
decoy
There we go.
possible.
Lizard and centipede. There we go. Um, but
Centipede's a
wasn't there a
poison
dude
pen.
who knew a little bit of all of them? I thought
I
there was a
don't know.
dude in the Five Deadly Venoms who wasn't good at any one of them, but knew a little bit of all of them. I can't remember. I don't have a fob. I don't have a fob. Well, I do. I have a fob, but it's also a key. But I never use the key itself. I just use the fob. Um, it seems like they want to talk about this, and since we don't have really much to talk about in terms of do you even lift, bro? Why don't we just move on
We
to
can,
it?
we can skip it or circle back at some point if you want.
We
It's
can
all
circle
good.
back. We can circle back. All right. So the title of tonight's Ammunation live stream: "Take My Car, Please." Mr. Twin, I know you've heard about this story. For those of you
Oh,
not in the know, I'm going to share something with you just to bring you all up to speed. One moment.
oh, and Ajax says he wasn't part of the Poison Clan. He was sent to stop them.
Ah, that's it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, I apologize for the nature of this content. It's Brian Lilly, who a lot of people find insufferable, but he had a very succinct sort of take on it. So I thought I'd just use him. So bear with me for a moment. Let's do this. And no, let's not do that because then we can't see you. Let's do this. All right.
The latest advice to deal with the real problem of auto theft in the Toronto area is Toronto Police Service telling you, let the thief steal your car. I'm not joking. This aired on City TV in the Big Smoke. Toronto Police Service saying these guys are armed, showing up with guns, so don't get in their way. Leave your keys at the front door.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door because they're breaking into your home to steal your car.
Now, it's understandable that the constable in question here wanted to make sure that people were safe, that people weren't putting themselves in danger. I get all of that, but the idea that we should simply give up and let thieves take over? No, we need better. We need better from police. We need better from governments on dealing with this very real problem.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's the issue, quite frankly. One moment while I stop sharing. How do I stop sharing in this thing? There we go. The idea that well, they're going to steal your car and you don't want to get attacked by them, so give up your key fob. And Lily's framing it as, well, the police need to do better. Sorry, yeah, you have a thought. Go ahead.
I just want to explain to anyone who's not getting it. So there is rashes of stolen fob starting cars that they come to your door with like like a repeater. Pick up the signal from your fob and start your car remotely, right? So they're basically like intercepting the signal and stealing your car. the thing is, if you have like $100,000 car and they want it real bad, and you put your fob in that the Faraday
box.
pouch,
Yeah,
they'll kick in your door to get the key.
fob.
Right. So what they're saying is leave it close to the door so they don't have to cut because they want the car. But yes, this is fucking ridiculous. Okay, so carry on, just for anyone who didn't understand what that was about.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's for a bit more background context. But yeah, there has been a rash of car thefts which are built upon home invasions or leading to home invasions, because there's a lot of affluent people in the Toronto area, and they've got Audis and Teslas and all sorts of expensive cars. But this notion that from that Lily's proposing, police need to do better, government need to no. People need to be empowered to defend their homes and defend themselves. As it stands right now, nobody has the right to do that. We are prohibited by law from defending ourselves or having an implement in place to defend ourselves. Now, if you happen to have a baseball bat by the door because you're on a baseball team and you see someone breaking in your door and you pull out a baseball bat and start attacking back, well, that's completely legit. But if you tell the cops that, yeah, I got the baseball bat here because it's kind of getting into a rough neighborhood. Oh, so you have an implement used in the commission of an assault. You're under arrest. That's the current status of self-defense in Canada. You cannot if you express to police or any other official that you possess an item for the purposes of self-defense, you will be charged with the offense of intention to assault, which is horseshit. Because last I checked, everybody had not just the right, but the biological imperative to defend oneself. And your home is an extension of yourself. And your family is an extension of yourself. You have an obligation to take care of it. And as Canada Man said in X, you are your own first responder.
What's the charge, officer? First degree self-defense.
Yeah, essentially. Fix this problem. Booby trap cars. Yeah. There was a guy who booby trapped his car because it kept getting broken into. And a dude, I think, got either set on fire or electrically shocked by the dude's car. He put a little device in the door handle and stuff. Big cars 2.0. Or just drive a Chevette. Yeah, nobody want to steal it. That's right. Yeah, but when you've worked hard your whole life. What's that?
South Africa, Johannesburg, there were so many carjackings that these guys started installing aftermarket flamethrowers. So if somebody came up to the driver's side, you could just stomp on the flamethrower and it would just blow.
That's what I saw. Yeah. Sounds like you need to keep a shovel in the same closet as the bat. Yeah, I agree. Well, you got to clear your walk when it snows, right? It's perfectly reasonable. Reasonable excuse for a snow shovel to the guy's forehead. Yeah, I just finished shoveling the walk, and he said, "Give me your car," and I'm like, "What?" And I just accidentally turned around and clocked him like Three Stooges style.
He means the 3 S's. Shoot, shovel, shut up.
Shut up. I hear you. Okay. That's a good call. Good call. Yeah, that's the idea, right? Don't fucking tell them when you kill somebody. No, but this complete acquiescence to criminal activity. We saw this in Great Britain too. When there was a rash of terrorist attacks and stabbings of a terrorist nature happening in Great Britain, what did the police say? Run, hide, and then call someone. Don't try and stop the fucker. Don't grab a narwhal tusk off of a bar's mantle and then chase the fucker out onto the bridge and defend and what do you call it? Detain him using a narwhal tusk. Did you hear about that?
Yes, that was fucking amazing.
That was great. It was brilliant. I'm like, that's what people should be encouraged to do. People need to be encouraged to be their own first responders. And under a Canada Man government, I have it on good authority that that's how things will be if Canada Man ever becomes prime minister. But hey, he's got lots of dreams and wishes. I don't know what he's going to realize. So I know a place. No one finds the body. I know a place. Costin's in the house. Greetings, wonderful, wonderful seeming and wonderful adjacent people. Even Irving Twin. Oh, that's nice. A lot of times, Irving Twin.
Yeah. I I am in Toronto. I deserve it.
I think that it's not highway Costin. I think it's hey Costin with a little heart. I missed you. Aww. C-Mac! Costin has a crush on C-Mac, for those new to the chat, and C-Mac does everything to encourage him. I think it helps her ego. But that's okay. Any other thoughts? Am I off the mark here when I say people need to defend their homes and defend their property?
I think 100% people should, and the fact that, yeah, you were likely to get charged for defending yourself, for intending to defend yourself. Our police force has moved from law enforcement to crime enforcement.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. When you're encouraging people, hey, you know what? Just make it easier on them, because then we don't have to investigate an assault. We just have to investigate auto theft.
Which we don't bother to do.
Which we don't bother to do. Yeah, you've heard
it's on a boat to the
you've
other
heard
side of the world.
You've heard Poilievre's story about the dude, eh? I think it was a dude in, I want to say he was in Mississauga or somewhere, or Unionville or something, somewhere in Ontario. Okay, dude had his car stolen, but he had an Apple AirTag in the car, so he was able to track it, and he knew exactly where it was, and it went to a port, like a shipping port in Quebec. He found it. He says, look, my Apple phone is showing me that my car is in that shipping container. Can you get it out? Sorry, no, we can't. It's the port authorities. This is the cops. We can't help you. It's part of the port authority. They have to deal with it. Contacts people at the port authority. Yeah, we don't have the manpower to pull that one transport what do you call shipping container down and get your car out of it.
Yo,
so this guy's car got sent off to like fucking Mumbai or some shit. And yeah, it's ridiculous.
No. If there's one stolen car in that, it's all stolen cars. The whole thing is stolen cars.
But that's it. They don't want to investigate. They don't. There's so like many other professions that purport to be there for the benefit of the public. Most people don't want to do their fucking jobs. It's why teachers suck. It's why a lot of doctors suck. It's why a lot of cops suck. It's why firefighters are. I have my friend Carrie. She hates firefighters. And I'm like, you do until you have a fire, then you fucking love them. It's like, that's not going to happen. You're right. Fires are a myth. They don't happen, Carrie, whatever. Anyway, I said, the reason she hates them is because they're unionized. They're paid exceedingly well. And the fact of the matter is 95% of the time, they're not doing a goddamn thing. They're sitting in the firehouse, cooking gourmet meals for each other and cleaning. And that's it. They're not fighting fires. But they exist for the purposes of fighting fires. Because I was explaining to her my whole super suffrage idea and how firefighters deserve an extra vote because they put their lives at risk by virtue of their daily duties. And she's like, well, why not, so-and-so, why not doctors? They save lives. I'm like, yeah, they're also compensated quite well for it. They make good money for being doctors. And they went into that because it's a calling, right? And their lives aren't put at risk by being doctors. And then she said, except for COVID. I'm like, oh, fuck off with COVID. Suck my balls. But what can I expect? She's a filthy feminist and a communist. I hope she's watching. She doesn't watch my streams, but who knows? She might watch. In which case, she just heard me insult her again. But anyway, no, she's a good friend. We just completely disagree on everything. So.
Fucking Jeezy.
Uncle Jeezy. That car in the shipping container called someone gay. Immediately get your car back. Yeah. That car in the shipping container misgendered somebody. Dirtbag. What? Who's a dirtbag?
Your friend.
Oh. Nah, she's a good kid. She's no shit. That's all. I say good kid. She's not that much younger than me, but anyway. Yeah, take my car, please, folks. So I think, you know what? Let's beat the rapists to the punch too. Ladies, just walk around without any underwear on, and keep condoms at the ready. Not that they'll use them because, well, they're going to rape you. And just, you know what? When you're at the bus stop waiting for the bus, just hike up your skirt and bend over. Because the last thing you want when a rapist shows up is a fight. That's my thought. By all means, don't wear a chastity belt. Because then they'll just get angry and beat the shit out of you looking for the key.
You know Jimmy Carr?
Yes, I do.
I've
seen him live, actually.
His pickup lines.
What's that?
He had like this whole thing of Jimmy Carr style pickup lines. Like one of them was, "Does this rag smell of chloroform to you?" And this, it just the way you're talking about the hike up your skirts, ladies. You don't want to fight, right? Let's not turn this rape into a murder.
Oh, God. He's one edgy motherfucker, man. He's funny. So anyway, I started blasting. This is my point. Under a Canada Man government, every citizen who possesses a PAL or an RPAL, one, legally has the right to defend themselves, obviously, using that implement, but also they're a member of the militia. They will be called upon to use their firearms knowledge and training should a situation arise where they are expected to defend the borders, or even just muster in a local capacity because there's some civil unrest. You might be called upon to muster and help take back a city or even like a neighborhood, whatever. But that's my thought. People should be not only be armed, people should be prepared to use those arms. Um, you know what? Use force if you need to. I'm saying go against the police. If someone invades your house, use force, whatever you have available to you. And if something goes badly, and you're going to be charged with something, so be it. At least you defended your family, defended your home, defended yourself, as opposed to just being a fucking victim. Which hey, I know that modern society is all about being a victim and getting the benefits of being a victim, but that doesn't mean that we actually have to do that. Anyway.
It reminds me of Poland.
No super uniforms. We need a superhero militia. Yes, wear tights.
But it reminds me of Poland. Like
Yep.
in high school, I think it's in your senior year.
Yep.
Your physical education class is actually paramilitary training.
Good.
And it's geared to your neighborhood. So if there's an invasion and you're like, oh God, you don't need a command structure to give you like instructions. You know how to secure your own neighborhood, like which are the important intersections and which buildings that you'll like try to get people into for defense and all. Like, yeah, so basically a bunch of people from 18 to 60 can just grab their guns and go defend their own territory, right? Because the poor Poland.
Well, you know what, they've had a rough time of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're under constant threat. For the longest time, they were under constant threat of invasion.
Yeah.
They've been invaded multiple times, and
Yeah.
I totally understand their posture. Sweden's the same way. Eh? Do you know how many fucking bunkers in the size of mountains Sweden has built?
Good.
It's like they started building them in the Second World War, and there's like hundreds of them.
It never stopped.
And they never stopped building them. It was like, fucking Russians, man. They're not too friendly either. So maybe we should do something about that. Yes, they built all these fucking Sweden is like is so gun shy when it comes to Russia, right?
The only time the Swedes were like, thank God for the Finnish, jeez.
There you go.
But no, I was watching this thing about the Polish paramilitary training, and the instructor is like ex-military, and he's real gung ho about it, real intense. And the guys doing the production are asking him like why, like how like it's like, look, Poland's had a rough time, and everybody for some reason, whenever war goes off, it's like invade Poland. If someone wants to come to my home and take my land, I will give him some. 21 square feet.
3x6 or 3x7.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's perfectly reasonable. My neighborhood's army would be a bunch of useless teachers and nurses. I'm dead for sure. And then C-Mac also said bitching and gossiping the whole time. Yes, they probably would be. Oh my God. Yeah, but no, I think we need a little bit more of that, and I think that might eventually come to pass. I think we're going to see conflict in the coming months. I watched a Canadian guy called Canadian Prepper, and he's talking about some actions that have been taking place inside of Russia's borders, not in Ukraine, but actual sabotage things going on inside of Russia. I don't think they should be poking the bear, so to speak. Putin's a motherfucker who don't blink, and I think it's a bad idea for them to agitate. And by doing this, and engaging these kinds of actions, they're only going to hasten the escalation of the conflict with Russia and not just Ukraine, but the rest of the West, Europe, everything. So, but that's just me. Thoughts, Mr. Twin?
They need to get into a major conflict before November.
Why before November?
Because that's when the elections happen.
Oh, that's right, and that's probably what they're going to do.
Elections.
Yeah. You're
we
probably
can't
right.
switch horses mid-war here. Like,
yeah, we got to. Well, first they'll try and suspend the elections, and no, democracy doesn't take a break. If we suspend elections, we're no better than the Russians. That's what it'll be, right?
They're no better than Zelensky, which is fine because they're backing him. Because he suspended elections basically the entire time.
He did. And suspending elections in Russia doesn't make a fucking difference because Putin's going to get in no matter what happens. If he doesn't get in, someone else will get in, and the prime minister will appoint Putin. So, actually, I think he may have been able to score himself president for life. I could be wrong. I mean, Xi Jinping did it, so it's quite possible he did it too. Where are we here? We got another comment. We can delay an election. Yeah, I mean, elections are horseshit anyway. But our election, we have till 2025 before ours hits. So, I want to move on to something. Oh yeah, this MFer right here.
What'd he do this time?
Oh, you know.
Actually, I don't know what he did. Actually, like I said, I ran some errands and failed a nap today. I wasn't really paying attention to stuff.
Fail? I don't know how you fail a nap, man. You just fucking go prone and fucking you fall asleep.
Really prone? You lay flat on your stomach and take a nap?
Yeah, you just lie down and you fucking fall asleep.
Prone is on your belly.
Well, either prone is just
no, literally on your belly.
No, it's not. It just means on your just fucking horizontal on the ground.
No,
that's
pronate,
going prone.
Pronate, supinate are different, the opposite of each other. Prone means on your belly.
Then fucking supinate yourself, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Just supinate or pronate. I don't care. Fucking stickler.
As opposed to laying prone. What if you told somebody lay prone and they laid down on their back and held their rifle up trying to take a shot? It's like, what? No, prone.
I'm not talking about it in a military context. I'm saying get yourself from vertical to horizontal and you will fall asleep.
Oh my God. CMAC agreed with me. Look.
What? War can delay an election. Supine is on. Yeah, okay, fine. I don't fucking care. Whichever way you sleep, Mr. Twin, go in that position. My guess is it'll be in a horizontal manner and fucking go to sleep. That's how you go to sleep. Ew, gross. What's gross? Get in that position or for agreeing with you. Well, it's not plumbing, so I think Irving is right, but he failed a nap, so I don't know anymore. Yeah, how do you fail a fucking nap? Anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here.
Actually nap, still like unsatisfactory lately.
Oh, I see. So you don't fall fully asleep. Is that the idea?
I don't know. Today was literally a failed to nap. I laid down. I like to pull my hood up over just so I can barely see like the TV and just sort of like doze off. And it's so comfy sleeping in your hood. It's fantastic.
I just put on a YouTube video. Normally it's either somebody talking in a very dry tone or I'll put on rain sounds and I'll just fucking fall asleep right away.
But I didn't. Today I didn't.
All right, this MFer right here.
right now, everyone is stressed out with the cost of living. It is a stressful time. And one of the challenges everybody is seeing is climate change. Alberta declared a start to its forest fire season in February this year. We had one of the worst years for wildfires ever, on top of some of the worst years for drought.
Yeah, it's because you put fucking satellites in the sky and started shooting lasers at everything. So go fuck yourself. And you hired people to go start fires. So fuck you.
Floods and droughts in different parts of the country. Your question, Rick, is sort of, well, that all makes sense. Why are so many people still against it? Well, that's a question we all have to ask. But my job is not to be popular. My job, although it helps, my job is to do the right things for Canada now, do the right thing for Canadians a generation from now. And that's what I've been focused on. And yeah, it's not always popular. But I know that doing the right things today, that support people today, that deliver that better future a generation from now, 2 generations from now, is going to make a huge difference in the path we take forward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I listened to my colleague's speech. I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum. It bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has quoted infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. In the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? Is the deputy?
Order. I know the member was in a really good question there, but the audio is really bad.
The audio is really bad.
I heard every fucking word.
Right?
This
motherfucker right here. I know what's best for Canadians for now and for the future. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you follow in the footsteps of your buddy Xi Jinping and what's his name, Vladimir Zelensky? Suspend elections and just declare yourself prime minister for life. I know you want to fucking do it, you piece of shit. I know you want to do it. So just go for it. Just do it. Watch what happens. You get a bunch of Edgar Friendlies all over fucking Canada. They'll be called Edgar McFriendly though, because Canada was built by the Scottish.
I don't think it will happen. At least not to any substantial degree. Like,
the forests are supposed to burn. They burned 1 million years before humans. It's true. The idea that the forest fire season started in February. Look, it's trees burn, and they burn especially well when you have people setting fires to those trees. And we have proof now that activists were setting fires to trees. Now, we don't have necessarily definitive proof that the federal government hired those activists, but we do know they were there. And if the lion's share of these so-called forest fire season occurs because people are deliberately setting fires, and that's the case, it's well over half. Actually, I think it's somewhere in the 3/4 range of forest fires this past season. The big bad one were human caused. They were not caused by dry seasons or lightning strikes or dewdrop refracting sunlight and causing a like a lens effect and burning fucking leaves.
That's pretty fucking random. But also, if I'm not mistaken, we've cut back on federal forestry management.
Well, yeah,
so they don't do the controlled burns nearly as often in as many places as they used to.
That's right. When these forest fires do happen, they're much more severe than they would be. Yeah, it's stupid. It's all kinds of stupid. A couple more comics. I threw up in my mouth just now. Yeah, he's really tough to listen to. I totally agree. I see his face, Twin, and I want to punch it. I want to punch it so hard.
Well,
I'm not a violent person, man.
Pox is always trying to get me to fight someone or other, right? And I'm always like, dude, I'm 40-something. I'm not getting in a ring for fun and profit. But if Justin Trudeau knew who I was and wanted to box, I'd get in the ring. I'd give him 9 weeks while I sat here on the couch drinking and smoking. He can go train for 9 weeks.
I don't know, man. I don't think you should. I don't think you should underestimate the dude. I'm sure you can take him.
I'm not underestimating
If
him.
he's going to train for 9 weeks, you should do some exercise for 9 weeks.
Oh, I'll do my.
You don't have to go like
my
get in a
thing
ring
going.
and practice box and spar and stuff like that, but it wouldn't hurt.
But I've seen him box.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's pretty pathetic.
I know my fundamentals with no training are better than whatever he's got. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
right.
he just doesn't do it right. I don't know how to explain it.
CMAC makes a good point. How many volcanoes erupt every year? They hate farmers for nitrogen runoff, but there's nitrogen in snow. Yeah, no, it's not that they hate farmers. They truly want to starve a third of the population, at least a third of the population. This is the plan of the globalists. When they talk about reducing carbon, the carbon they want to reduce is you. They want most of the population, not most of the population, but a good chunk of the population to die. And if that means they've got to bring about race riots in the United States or cause people to cut off their genitals and destroy their endocrine system with hormones, they'll do that. Even if it's little kids who don't know any better, they'll encourage that. The idea is to basically starve people, get them to eat garbage in the form of processed foods and insects, and yeah, let the elites, they're the ones who will inherit the earth, being all meek about it. Trudeau is a junkie. He's probably been punched out by Sophie. I wouldn't doubt it. Did he make the Black Eye tour like Bush did and Tom Hanks?
Sure.
Did he ever have a black eye? I'm trying to remember if he ever had a black eye.
I mean, he may have had a black eye, but I also saw him got punched out in a boxing ring. So
yeah, by an old dude, but he had the face mask, he had the armor around his face, so he shouldn't have gotten a black eye from that because he had padding all around his eyes. So I've eaten insects. I like peanut butter. You like peanut butter with insects? He's had
a whole black face.
That's true. That's true. He's not just black-eyed, he's black-faced. Yeah, no, that motherfucker, he can't leave soon enough. Yeah. So what do you think of that? Do we elect our leaders to make decisions for us indefinitely? Like, I can't just think about what Canadians need now. I have to think about what their grandkids are going to need. Well, how the fuck are you? Nobody knows what's going to happen 20 years from now. Nobody can predict what's going to happen next year, let alone 20 years.
What he said as a concept is actually correct.
No, it's noble. It's not correct.
Mayors and politicians used to think more in 50-year terms, right? That we're going to do something now that's going to be sustainable as a policy for the next 50 years, for like literally 2 generations worth of people. Like two generations of people will grow to adulthood with these policies and it will be good.
Right.
They don't do that anymore. They're only, right? So he's saying the right words, but the actions are complete bullshit, right? Taxing people to death now for energy will not help future generations. Like you said, you're going to starve people out.
And not only that, the idea that a price on carbon is the only way to attack the climate agenda. What does that mean? Or attack the climate change? What are you implying there? I mean, I can infer a lot. What I'll infer is that you want people, just your everyday working stiff who pays your taxes, forks over money to the government to make life a little bit more tolerable and livable in his scant 80 years on the globe and in the country. He pays your taxes so you can make his life more livable, and you want to make it so that he is so burdened by this tax that he can't afford to drive, and that will reduce carbon. If that's what you mean, okay. But just fucking say it. If the price on carbon is to get people to get so destitute that they can't afford to drive cars anymore, then say that's your fucking plan. But if you've got some other notion that, well, we put a price on carbon and then that money will go directly towards some cleanup project or investment in better catalytic converters or whatever, then you need to spell that fucking out, and you need to account for it in your yearly budget. But that's not what you're saying. You're saying, fuck them. I need more money.
Yeah.
Government needs more money. And if they fucking don't like it, suck it. I'm in charge.
And the whole idea of quote unquote the climate crisis, it's ridiculous. Oh, she was saying that all peanut butter has insects in it.
Oh, probably.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, and all Rice Krispie squares have fucking rat turds. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but Rice Krispie squares are delicious, man.
I know. Oh yeah,
so,
I'll eat
they're
them
so bad for you, but they're
sick.
so fucking yummy.
I just like no, I'll eat rice, and the way my grandmother did it, my mother did it, my sisters do it. They put peanut butter in the marshmallow mix.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I'll eat them.
That's a completely different animal.
Oh man, so good. Yes, and I will eat them until I'm ready to vomit. Like I can't stop myself. It's a true
You know what?
weakness.
I'm that way. Melina bought that at the Costco. She bought that s'mores clusters, which are basically
like clodhoppers.
Yeah, they're like clodhoppers, but they've got marshmallow in them, and they've got fucking graham cracker, and chocolate and caramel, and I'm like, God damn, these things are just too goddamn good. I can't stop eating them, and they're so fucking like one of them is 190 calories. No, sorry, 2 pieces 190 calories. That's insane. And do you think I eat 2? Fuck no, twin. I'll eat 6 because I'm a fucking junkie for sugar. Peanut butter and butterscotch chips. Oh, over the tiny marshmallows. Our confetti bars are best shit ever. I like marshmallows and butterscotch chips. Yeah. Fucking now I want to make a dessert.
Circling back to the climate change thing, there's a bill at the NDP. I think it's the NDP are tabling, but it obviously is going to have the backing from the Liberals because it's a climate change bill to ban the advertising of fossil fuels.
Yeah, I heard about that. You can't sell oil.
And in the preamble, it makes mention of the conclusive evidence of carbon-based or carbon-caused climate change.
Yeah.
Right. So they're trying to that's a really subtle way to weave that into law. It is now it will be law that this is conclusively proved by science when it's not.
Right. Yeah.
Like it absolutely is not. You know, these assholes, they connect every little weather event to climate change.
Right.
But they can't make any predictions about temperature or actual increases percentage-wise in things like hurricanes and forest fires. All their models are always wrong. You know whose models are always right?
Who?
The people who study the sun. The people who study the sun see that, the sun is going to do this phase. And over the next year, we're going to have an increase in this, and that's going to cause this, and this. And they are always correct.
Yeah.
Because
it has much more. Here's the thing.
More influence
I think a giant ball of flaming gas that irradiates the planet 24/7, every day of every year, will have a hell of a lot more impact on the thin layer of atmosphere on that small planet than a gas which constitutes less than 0.5% of the entire atmosphere. If that slightly increases over, say, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, let's say, I have a feeling even that will have much less impact than this giant fucking orb that's constantly shooting energy at this planet in terms of how the temperature goes up or down.
Yeah, people don't understand what the sun is, right? Like they learned it in grade school. The sun is a star and the earth revolves around it, but they don't know. Like we call it a star. We call it like a celestial object.
Right.
But it's not. It's more like a cosmic event that is occurring and has been occurring for some 7 billion years and will continue to occur for the next 7 billion. Have you ever watched that bullet time video of a grenade exploding in slow motion?
No.
That's what the sun is. Like, yeah, it's a gravity powered mass fusion event that's emitting light and heat. It's just one massive explosion that just continues to go on, and it creates.
It's a massive nuclear reaction in the middle of space, and we just happen to be 93 million miles away from it. So that's why we feel the heat.
It creates so much light and heat that at 93 million miles away, the heat can kill you if you're exposed to it too long.
Yeah.
If you try to look at it, you can go blind. That's how bright it is.
That's why the face shields on those helmets had gold painted on the inside of them, so it would reflect it. There are important math aspects of fluid dynamics that humans haven't even solved yet. Yeah, for sure. No, it's absolute. It comes down to a cult-like religion that is backed by erroneous science, kind of like Islam, and the people who are actively promoting this doomsday death cult mindset, they're doing evil, whether they believe it or know it or not. There's zero way to predict without that math being solved. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, but yeah, I'm particularly irritated by Trudeau and his narcissism. But we all knew he was a narcissist from the get-go. But this is getting no real attention. This piece of footage came from a Clown Planet channel. Yeah, Clown Planet. I've never heard of them. You think the news covered that? Did you see that clip where he goes, well, someone in the press is saying, what do you think of all, you're not doing very well in the polls, and there's a lot of criticism leveled your way. And what does he say? It's hard right now being a politician. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. This motherfucker right here.
Literally leader of the country, and he's claiming the victim status.
I know. And he does it on behalf of his other fellow politicians because, of course, they tee it up like, hey, there's been a lot of negative comments towards your government, and there was this comment that was made towards this minister regarding something they said. What do you think of all that? I don't like it, and I think it's downright mean. It's really hard what we do here.
Think of the politicians.
That's right, you poor motherfucking politicians. Ugh. People are the worst. Okay. Should I go on to this one? Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. Are trans monsters?
I forgot this was a topic today. Oh my god.
Bear with me, folks. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I know it looks very edgy and very fucking bleak, but one moment. I need to present something. Where is that? There we go. So there's this game called... Sorry, go ahead.
Monsters among all demographics, right?
Yes, but I think they're overrepresented in some demographics.
Sure, that's just the way the dice roll, right?
Right. All right. So from the Pink News, which is, if you're not familiar, Pink News is a LGBTQ news outlet where they write opinion pieces and stories. Dead by Daylight developer accused of transphobia by trans voice actor who says she was tricked. And by she, we mean it or he. Behavior Interactive recently updated its hit online survival horror game, Dead by Daylight, adding a new killer called The Unknown, a malevolent shape-shifting entity voiced by a transgender woman. However, following complaints about the Unknown's appearance, in particular an outfit where the creature appears as a grotesque giant dressed in a cheerleader costume and wig, the woman who voiced the character claims she was tricked into helping create a trans stereotype and took to X, Twitter, to complain. And I'm not going to read her tweets, but basically it's woe is me, I'm a victim. So I'm not going to read the whole story, but basically backstory. Hey, look, there's one of my videos. How you like them apples? Don't ever change, Bertie Sanders. That's my latest video. You can look at it on my channel.
Isn't that great? They advertise your video to you.
I love it. It's great.
I wonder who else.
It has a rockin' 7 views. So, long story short, this broad, and I use the term loosely, got a job as a voice actor for this behavior interactive game, Dead by Daylight. At the time, they hadn't created the model for the character that she was going to be voicing.
And now she's mad they based.
Now that she's mad that the model that came out looks like this. It's got a big, long, twisted, deformed neck. Its limbs are deformed. I don't know that that's a wig. It looks like it's just a chick. But I guess this is one of the skins. You can get an outfit. So I think there's video of it here. One sec here. Yeah, here we go. Let me replay that. But I guess that's what he normally looks like, or that's another outfit. I have no idea. Look, what did you want them to make you? You're playing a villain in a horror game. Do you think you should look beautiful?
Zombie horror game.
A zombie horror game, no less. Can I hold on? All right, I'm going to stop sharing real quick because I think we need to just basically talk about this.
Sure.
So, okay, you've been hired to play a zombie or a monster in a zombie survival horror game. You are hired for your voice acting ability because that's how you advertise yourself. Then they take that voice and they apply it to a character. What makes you think that you were the inspiration, or any person was the inspiration for the character? Don't you know there's a little disclaimer? Any similarity, any characters, living or dead, is purely coincidental, and no offense was meant by blah, 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 blah. Anything is accidental. You know, if we happen to call somebody Robert E. Lee, it doesn't mean that it's actually about Robert E. Lee. I don't know why that popped into my head, but you know what I'm saying. Any similarity is coincidental. It's not real. So this notion that she thinks that the modeling department targeted it over this is nonsense. And again, it's just she's in this victim mentality mindset. So she sees abuse everywhere. Thoughts?
I have one.
We got some comments. So go. I can just flash them up on the screen. You can go through your bits. Oh, you want me to share this?
Sure.
All right. Twin has some multimedia to share, so let's watch this. Our trans monsters. Trans rights. Oh my goodness. That's fucking hilarious.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you. We got some comments here. We've got from CMAC. They are a death cult. I think she's talking about the environmentalists. I might cry. I don't know what she's crying about. Maybe what we just posted. I'm not sure. Cowabunga, Craig and Irving. Thank you, Six. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. That escalated quickly. Hey, Six. And hope you're well. Hey, CMAC. I'm good. And glad to hear that, Six. I'm going to read all the comments. Fuck you. You're just going to have to listen to me. Oh my God, I'm dead. The unknown. They have a face for voice acting. They do have a face. Have you seen the picture of this voice actor?
I've not.
Let me see if I can find it.
But I'm told they have a very long neck.
They have a very long neck. So maybe there is something to her complaint. But you know what? Fuck off. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Here's the thing. This is where I'm gonna immediately move into this rant section because I've been thinking about this particular topic all day, and it lends right into it. So, folks, hang on to your hats and get ready to clip this next bit. Okay? And share it around, make it go viral, and turn me into a pariah online. To whom it may concern. The young people and even some of the older people of today who have decided or come to the realization that they are so-called born in the wrong body, they are the opposite gender to which they were assigned at birth. They consider themselves trans. I've got something to tell you. You're not trans. You're boring. You're boring, and you think that the only way to be interesting is to completely reinvent yourself. And the reason you think that, and the reason you think that you need to be a spectacle, you need to be interesting, is because you've been raised on a diet of social media that told you that the only thing of value is being recognized and being famous and being known to be something spectacular or amazing or different or talented. And the problem is that you're none of those things. And so you've decided, hey, I know, I'll fuck up my endocrine system. I'll chop off body parts. I'll color my hair a bright, poisonous reptile color, and I'll dress like an idiot. And then I'll be interesting. But you're not. You're tedious. You're trite. Everybody sees you and they know you're putting on a fucking act. And I know deep down inside, most of you know that you're putting on an act, because the fact that we've got an inordinate number of girls all of a sudden becoming trans, when for the last 30 plus years of data, people who suffer from gender dysphoria have been predominantly men, not women. But now all of a sudden, you've got these young girls in high school who cut their hair short, put on some flannel, get a septum ring, and say they're a boy, all in an effort to just look interesting. You're bored. Get a fucking hobby. If you need a new persona, take up cosplaying or become a furry. That's at least less fucked up than chopping off body parts, fucking with your endocrine system, wearing flannel. So that's all I have to say about the so-called trans trenders, is what I'd like to call them. You don't suffer from gender dysphoria, and being quirky is not an identity. Okay? And it goes beyond quirky. It's become the point of psychosis where you are literally trying to destroy your own life and take down anyone around you who doesn't believe you and doesn't support you, by trying to make them the victims of a cancel mob, because you're too special. You're not. You're bored and you're boring. That's all there is to it.
So it's just strange. I don't know why I thought of this. This is super fucking meta, I think.
A bunch of them show up at the studio getting septum piercings. LOL. Hey, see? Yes, says CMAC. I don't know what she's referring to. A lot of them look
You're just your rant.
disagreeing. Okay. A lot of them look for tongue splitting lately. One is weird as hell to me. Yeah, I don't get the tongue splitting thing. You know what? People who get tongue rings, you can always tell they have a tongue ring because they can't speak clearly. And so every once in a while you hear it click. I'm like, fucking, why you put that in your mouth? You become incoherent.
Why you gotta get the rubber, the hard rubber connectors. That's what I did anyway.
Flannel is not a personality. You're right. Flannel is not a personality. And I know plenty of Canadians who prove that. Lots of Canadians wear flannel, and some of them have no personality at all. As a matter of fact, I think if we did a study to see how many NPCs reside in each country per capita, I think Canada's up there, man. I think we got a lot of fucking no inner monologue, fucking no visual acuity, no ability to visualize things. I think we got a lot of those motherfucking NPCs in our country. A lot.
Do you remember the story of the hipster?
Satin is a personality.
Go Tell Seattle, circa 1991.
That flannel's not the Canadian denim tuxedo. That's right.
Do you remember the story of the hipster who tried to sue a media outlet for using pictures of him in their story without his permission, only to find out that the bearded man with thick rimmed glasses, a toque, and flannel was not actually him?
It's just the costume that he's wearing because he's a hipster.
I used to watch that fucking King of the Dot battle raps. I don't know why. Yeah.
Oh, guys, yeah. Oh, yeah. The rap battles from history kind of thing.
No. It's like
Oh.
literal like guys who are trying to break into the rap scene, and they
Oh
would
yeah.
prep bars and rap back and forth. They'd go like 3 rounds, but they'd also improv shit on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy is rapping against what looks like a hipster, and I can't remember the whole line, but he's like, "I've been here for like less than a day, and I've already seen you 50 times."
It's so true. You know what's funny though? I remember when I was working at the comic book store. I was in Toronto at the Bovine. You ever been to the Bovine?
That
It's
sounds
on Queen
familiar.
Street. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a edgy fucking.
It's still
The
there, isn't it?
Bovines. They call it the Bovine Sex Club. I don't know if it's there anymore. Anyway,
I think it is. I think I
I
drove
would.
past it a couple
It's got
months
like a bicycle frame on the fucking sign above, and it's got a whole bunch of like detritus making up the sign, and
Yeah.
the front of it is like steel corrugated steel clapboard. It's a really cheesy looking bar that's trying desperately hard to be edgy.
And it might
Anyway,
still be there, whatever.
I was at the Bovine Sex Club watching a band that I knew, and I'd actually helped work on their video before. Anyway, they were performing. And in walks a guy who I know from the comic book store who used to work at the comic book store, but now just lives in Toronto. And he's dressed in flannel with a toque and a fake mustache. Okay. And all of his friends, the girls included, are dressed in flannel, toques, and a fake mustache. So they're making fun of the hipster thing before the hipster thing was even a thing, which is, that shows some foresight. Because this guy was young, like a young guy. He's like 30 years my junior, right? And he was like the cool guy at the comic book store, This tall, lanky dude, and all the girls thought he was the dreamiest guy. And he's like, he's really cool because he's so laid back, Like, anyway, he didn't stay at the comic
Is
book
he
long.
cool, or is he just tall?
I'm saying as a personality trope, that's who he was. Because the comic book store is full of the magic nerd, the comic book nerd, the
Right.
guy who's also a comic book nerd, but is so well versed on other things in the world that he can speak about how comics are, in fact, a mirror for social political issues of the day. There's the guy who's big into manga and anime, and then there's the cool guy who girls come in and buy manga because he works there. Because otherwise they go to Chapters and buy their manga there. That's who this guy was. Everyone had a niche. Anyway, don't tell Seattle. All right, okay. Canadian down tuxedo and next 6 minutes. Hey, Pox.
No, you had mentioned quirks and being quirky are not a personality.
Yes, that's right.
And this it took me back to grade school. I knew a guy who would lick his shoulders.
What the fuck?
He's always wearing tank tops, and
just
you'd
lick
just
his
be
shoulder?
chatting, and he would just turn over and lick his shoulder a little
Was
bit.
it like
right?
a Tourette's? Was it like a Tourette's?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Right? Like
That's
you never
fucking hilarious.
Like he would just lick his like mid. Yeah, you're having a conversation. Yeah, okay, right? Like I do this a lot, right?
Rub your beard.
And I'm not itchy.
I do this a lot.
You just lick his shoulder.
I like try and work in the crease of my fucking chin. I want a bum chin like fucking Kirk Douglas.
But if that guy was growing up in grade school today,
yeah,
every time he stood up to say something, he'd be like, "As a shoulder licker," and then like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
what the absolute fuck?
Well, that's just it. That's not a being angry and ugly. It's not a fucking personality. Look, just because you're not good looking enough to pass for a boy, and you're not tall enough to pass for a boy, doesn't mean that putting on flannel, cutting your hair short, dyeing it purple, and getting a septum ring makes you a boy. Because that's, to me, and you don't have no intention on taking any hormones? No, I don't want to take the hormones. Then you're not, you don't have gender dysphoria. If you don't want to resolve this maybe you do have gender dysphoria, but I bet you don't. I bet you're just bored and boring, and you think this is the thing to jump on. When I was in high school, it was goth kids, the boring kids became goth kids because they didn't have any personality. They weren't interesting at all. And they want to, rebel against their parents and society and the whole bit. And how do they do that? Well, they fucking dye their hair black, put on some eyeliner, dress in dark clothes, and get all fucking mopey. And now they are part of a group of people. But that was nothing. Taking hormones that are fucking made in someone's bathtub? No, forget it. Chopping body parts off. Like fucking cutters are better than you assholes. The guys who take fucking blades and just like put little shallow grooves in their fucking arms. My kid came to me and said, "Dad, I have to tell you something." I said, "Please don't say you're trans. Please don't say you're trans. Please don't say you're trans." I've been cutting myself. Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, those aren't so bad. Good boy. At least you're not trans. Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous that this is what we got to. But you know what? It's not surprising because this happens every time a civilization is about to collapse. Every time a civilization is in its final days, the society becomes so cattywampus. It becomes so uh, uh, dyslexic that all of reality becomes turned on its head. Men start dressing as women. It's okay to fondle little kids, all sorts of shit like that. Kids should be taught all about how to put on condoms with your mouth. That's all good. That's what happens when society's starting to collapse. And that's what we're seeing right now. Happened in Rome, happened in ancient Egypt. It happens to every great civilization. They all start to just fucking question reality and say up is down and black is white and the sea is made of sand. That's what happens. We got a few more comments. Imagine not being able to lick your shoulders. I don't know if I've ever tried to lick my shoulder.
It's not something generally one like tries.
In my school, the boring kids all fought each other and played video games. See, playing video games though means you have an interest in something. Boring people don't have interest. That's why they're boring. If you had an interest in something, if you took up a fucking hobby or volunteered somewhere or got into fucking religion or something, you'd no longer be boring because now you have something that you're passionate about. And then that passion exudes. And so what are these sad fucks passionate about now? They're passionate about getting bathtub made fucking hormones and ruining their lives. Anyway, 6 says, stupid conformists. They're all going to opt for maid soon. That's the idea. Shallow cuts. Go hard or go home, emo F-slurs. It's the Jews, actually. We are in the preening rat stage of mouse utopia. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're in the preening rat stage of the mouse utopia. Yeah. I think you're hitting a nail on the head there, Mr. Toxic. Anyway.
Well, was it last week we almost made CMAC cry with our stories of how our parents beat us into goodness?
That's right.
And now you're seeing what happens when
you don't do it.
A kid.
That's
they have no idea. They have no idea what consequences are.
Right.
They just don't get it.
I should tell you, I told my friend Carrie that the world would have been a lot better if women never voted. And she's like a hardcore feminist. She's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "No, I'm 100% dead serious. They should repeal the 14th Amendment. Women shouldn't be voting." Because they ruined. I said they have ruined Western civilization by being involved in the electoral process. They have everything that is wrong with the way government handles things, all of the crime, all of the illegal immigration. It's all because of women. They support it. They are the caring people. They're the ones who are like, no, these poor people just want to come here and work. They're the reasons that people are, sentimental towards mass migration. They're the reasons people are sentimental towards the welfare state. Women. CMAC, your people are the worst.
Gentlemen, It is with great disappointment I regret to inform you, women.
Bully your children, says Pox Toxic. I think don't be afraid to discipline them. We were talking about that, eh? How my dad
Well,
used
if
to
you don't
discipline
bully
us.
your children will bully you, right? Like, I don't know how to explain this. I've trained dogs and I've trained employees, and it's exactly the fucking same. Okay? It's exactly the fucking same. At 3 months and 6 months, your puppy will start pushing boundaries. Okay?
Mhm.
They need not because they're bad dogs or have ill intent, because they need to know where the line is.
Right.
Okay?
So you need
Week
to show
one,
them that line and reinforce it.
week 1, week 6, and week 12, your employees will push boundaries, and you need to set that line, make it clear, right? Like, and
It's
yeah,
true.
your children will do it.
Children
Your
the same.
will.
Children are exactly the same way, right? All animals that develop in a family structure, mammals particularly, right? They all do the same thing. They need to be shown not to do things by the mother. Otherwise, their life will end. So we're no different. We're just primates. Hang on a moment, folks. Mr. Twin, please carry the stream. I have to go feed my cat. It's his time to eat.
I'll try.
In the
Okay,
meantime,
so
while Mr. Twin's talking, you can look at my junk.
spare the rod and spoil the child. Yes. Okay. So I'm convinced that that doesn't necessarily mean beating your children with a rod, but it's a great, great Bible reference. Bible reference is always welcome. Because the rod is the shepherd's crook. Teach the kid to do the job, right? Make sure they, like, you can use work as discipline,
Mhm.
right? You know, you don't have to beat a kid if you can make them mow the lawn, right? Which is we don't have a lot of shepherds anymore, I guess, like as a family tool for child disciplining. But spare the rod means, yeah, it's heavy for them and the work is hard. They've got to learn how to keep the sheep in line. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Make sure they know how to get it done.
I agree. So the next
Also,
6 minutes says,
occasionally
spare the rod, spoil the child, Proverbs 13:24. Pox Toxic says this by pointing up at it. And Uncle Jeezy says, well, some portion of people don't seem capable of that. Maybe 13-ish% of the population. Well, it helps when you have two parents in the household to do it. And why is that? Once again, we come back to women, because women are less likely to engage in physical discipline with their children. And you've also got to consider, you can engage in physical discipline with your son to a point, but at one point, he's going to be able to knock you the fuck down, in which case you can't. And if he's involved in criminal activity, he more than likely will, because he doesn't have a father figure around to keep him in check.
So here's a weird thing that people don't like to know, even though it's 100% true and totally trackable. Children of single mothers are 25% to 4,000% more likely to pick a bad thing. Go ahead, any bad thing.
Smoke.
They're somewhere, sure. They're in the realm of 25% to 4,000% more likely. Each different bad thing has its own percentage, but like more likely to drop out of school, more likely to have children out of wedlock, or have children before they finish high school.
Shove a mason jar up their ass?
Crime. Sure. Like, I'm sure it's in there. I'm sure if they picked that one and asked, they would find that it is in fact correct. What's really crazy is this is children of single mothers, not children of single parents. While there are fewer children of single fathers, there's no increase in these bad things.
No. Because fathers eat a banana on the internet, you're goddamn right. I need my potassium.
Brave.
Brave. Oh yeah, I'm sure somebody's gonna clip it. Fatherless behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, C-Mac will do it, and she's gonna spread it all over the internet. Yeah, no, it's an epidemic, and it's an epidemic particularly in the African American community. The problem is that you've got a parting of the ways amongst Democrats and Republicans, or amongst conservatives and liberals, let's say, because while both might be able to, the liberal might be able to recognize the statistic of higher rates of criminality in homes without a father, they will say, well, the reason for that is that the fathers are all being put in jail because they are disproportionately arrested by cops, which isn't true. Criminals are arrested by cops by and large. It just happens to be a matter that the African American community more engages in more criminal activity per capita than the other population groups. So it is what it is. There's no potassium in banana. There isn't? I thought there was. I thought that's why it was radioactive. It's in the peel. Eat the peel. No, I'm not gonna eat the peel. There's got to be some potassium in the actual fruit. I use liquid potassium from the doctor. It tastes like tequila. Why don't you just drink tequila then?
If you slow bake the peel and then smoke it, do you get any of the potassium? They call it mellow yellow.
Per capita is just white people magic, and that makes numbers into other numbers.
This is from a real tweet. A real
also
person.
Anti-Semitic. Oh fuck, I love it. Per capita. That's funny.
White people magic.
Black girl magic. That's a clip from fucking the Marvels. This is how bad the Marvels is. There is a scene where Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, has been thrown up into the air by something, or is in the air somehow, and Nick Fury says to what's her name? The black chick with the powers. What's her called? What's she called in the movie? Spectrum or Nebula? It's not Nebula. Anyway, she's called something. I don't know what it is, but she's one of the Marvels as well. And she's like, "Go get her." She's like, "I don't know if I can." He goes, "Black girl magic." And so she flies because he told her black girl magic. Monica Rambeau, but she has her superhero code name is something. I want to say at one point she was called Spectrum. When Carol Danvers was gone, she called herself Captain Marvel. And then she was called something else. I can't remember. I last know her as Spectrum. I remember reading she was Captain Marvel back in the day. Yeah, it was Monica Rambeau. Yeah, I know. Uncle Jeezy says.
Not
Super Jumbo. Oh fuck! This is terrible. It's funny, but it's terrible.
Never change, guys. Never change.
Never change. Never change, Bernie Sanders. You saw my video today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Bernie Sanders squawking. I don't want to get into it. If you want to know what my thoughts on Bernie Sanders and his nonsense, I made a video earlier today, going to the park, and feel free to watch it. It's on my channel.
Oh, there's also something interesting here. Jeezy says, if you saw most birds raising chicks without the males around, you'd say it's phenotype of the bird's genes. The thing is, it's not the case.
Do birds raise them without the father around?
I'm not sure. Like bird species to species, it happens, but a lot of times,
I know a lot of birds are the whole mate for life thing, right?
Yeah.
Except penguins cheat on each other. You know that.
Like, and steal each other's children and murder them if they can't. But yeah, no, people don't know that about penguins. They just watch parts of
penguins are assholes. They really are fucking bastards.
Yeah,
you know?
like
they've got all the worst character traits of like the fucking the dodo and like all the really bad fucking the mockingbird. It's the mockingbird that is it the mockingbird that will basically put its own eggs in another. The cuckoo.
Yeah, this is where the term
The cuckoo, not the mockingbird. The cuckoo will take its eggs and put it in the nest of another type of bird, so that bird raises its offspring.
Yeah, but it's even worse because that bird gestates faster.
Yeah, so
and
we'll kill the other
immediately-
offspring.
Yeah, it throws the eggs out of the nest.
Yes.
Yeah, so they never even hatch. It's
Yeah.
it's a murderous animal. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Fucking
But no,
cuckoos,
the
man.
marriage rates among black people were way higher before the civil rights movement, and stayed high, and they stayed together for a long time. Kids were
That's
raised
right.
in
That's right.
two-parent households, and it's actually the civil rights movement coupled with the feminist bullshit that actually made it a whole lot worse.
Before I
he's
opt
got
out,
a title.
I have a title for my book now. Finally, yeah, I know. What is it? Please
He
do
didn't
tell.
share. He didn't share.
Abortion bird. But that's good, Six. I'm glad. But I'd like to know. Now I'm like all fucking my interest is piqued.
I know.
You know what it is?
Oh no, I mean I know. I'm excited to hear it, but fuck, I still have to goddamn read it.
I've only read a bit of the first third of it, so I have to get back to it too. I was looking at that folder in my shared Google Drive because it's in my Google Drive as like a shared with me, right? Anyway,
Okay. Slacker.
let me know when to buy when it's published. Slackers, says CMAC. Have you read it, CMAC? What was I gonna say? Talk about birds. Talk about offspring. Oh yeah, you were talking about another statistic with regards
and feminism. Feminism, women ruined everything, right? Like, yeah, you're right. All I'm saying is 1928, women get the vote. 1929, Great Depression begins. Like,
here's the thing. It's clear that human beings, like all primates, are a sexually dimorphic species. We have male and female, two distinct categories of biological representation of the species. They have defined roles purely based on their physicality. You can see it that they have different roles just based on their body structure. And those roles informed our behavior through millions of years of evolution, or not millions, hundreds of thousands of years of evolution to get us to have a set of social norms that comport with the physical reality of our bodies. Okay. So what that means is because the man typically is more physically capable and stronger than the female, he naturally is the authority in the dynamic. He has to be, just like all other animals. The alpha is the one that can take down every other male counterpart. Same goes for the she wolf. The strongest, the biggest and strongest, rules over the other ones. Same goes in whale pods. The same goes in fucking chimpanzee troops. All of it. Why we think that it should be any different amongst primates could only be brought about because of our tendency to be stupid and not recognize reality and start to question things like common sense and our own instincts with regards to this stuff. And now it's reached full circle with regards to the whole trans issue. But I mean, women naturally belong in a position of caregiving, mothering, housekeeping, that kind of stuff. I know it sounds sexist, but it's true. You are meant to take care of the young and take care of the domicile, whatever form that might take. Men are meant to protect the domicile and provide for the residents of the domicile. That's it. We've always been that. And the notion that no, women should have a say too. You have a say through your conversations with your husband. You talk to your husband, you let him know what your concerns are, and he considers that when he goes to the voting booth. The notion that you should have some sort of say, when you have a subservient role to play in society is fallacious. Do I sound like a complete misogynist at this point?
I don't look. It's not subservient, right? Like it's just. I can't wait to read my struggle by the next 6 minutes.
Oh, geez. I'm looking forward to the second part, My Struggle Redux. It's a community service. I'm not sure what she means by it's community service, but
Maybe being a woman, right? It's
well,
not
but
subservient. It's
look,
community
the idea of
service.
being subservient, it's a double-edged sword, right? Yes, you have less autonomy than the male, but you also have less responsibility, or your responsibilities are different. You have the protection of the male. He has the duty to protect, and he's also more vulnerable to harm because of that position he is in. It's his role to do it, and it's your role to support him as a woman. Not you specifically, C-Mac. I mean, you, the royal you, as women.
My Italian grandparents, right,
Mm-hmm.
came from the farm in Calabria. Okay.
Yep.
My grandfather was friggin' enormous, right? Like 6'3",
Yep.
240 pounds.
What happened to you? Why are you such a shrimp?
I don't fucking know.
Just fucking with you, man.
Because I started smoking when I was 9. Yeah, that's why my arm span is 75 inches and I stand 5'10".
You got big, long arms.
Yeah. It's ridiculous how long my limbs are and my torso. I guess I stunted the internal growth by smoking.
So let me ask you this: when you stand up straight,
yeah,
and you rest your hands at your side, where do they fall on your leg?
Oh, I can nearly touch my butthole if I reach in front of me standing straight. Like my arms are stupidly long.
No. I'm just meaning your hands at your side. Typically, on average, your hands will fall mid-thigh. Yours must fall much closer to your knee then.
Below his feet, like
it's a fucking gorilla.
Most people have to lean forward a little bit to be able to fully protect their crotch with their hands. I don't.
But anyway, no, I hear you.
My grandparents. Hold on, just.
Sorry, please tell your story.
You're not sounding sexist, and it's not a role of subservience. It's literally a division of labors, right? 6'3", 240-pound grandfather, construction worker, had this enormous backyard where he had like basically a small farm, right? That he kept chickens and pigeons and rabbits and shit. This huge garden, right? Like squashes, tomatoes, peas. God, he had set up vine growers for grapes to make wine.
Come on.
So he goes out into the world and he goes out into the yard, into the little farm, and he's the boss out there. All right. Yeah. What he needs out there, he gets. Okay. She's making the food. She's cleaning the clothes. He comes inside. He's got mud on his boots. My grandmother's 5'1", 90 pounds. She starts cussing him out in Italian. Don't you dare get that mud in my fucking kitchen. And you see this enormous man, hands up, shoulder, like, okay, all right, Elvira, I won't. Like she could cow him because in the house, she's the fucking boss.
Right. No, what I mean to say that women are naturally subservient to men is what I mean to say is that physically speaking, the man has to be in charge because he's physically designed to take control and be in charge. Now, I understand it's cooperative because it needs to be, right? So both are getting something out of it. Both are working towards the betterment of the other. Because that's how the species evolved. Because it was the most stable survival strategy for the species. And it will continue to be. So that we come along and decide that no, they're 100% equal and need to be treated equally under the law. Therefore, they need to get everything a man has. And just for good measure, since they've had it so rough so long, now let's give them more rights and give them more access than men currently have. So we're going to flip it. It'll be like a pendulum swing. Men are going to be men should be under the thumb of women for a while is the idea, right? That doesn't work either, because one, it's predicated on a narrative that isn't actually true. Like, while I say functionally and physically, men are in charge in a household or in that social dynamic, in reality, it's a function of cooperation, both doing what is required based on their biology and their natural affinity towards certain tasks. So, anyway, don't feel bad, CMAC. No one should be voting. We're just starting with stopping women. LOL GZ. Anyway, I may be completely out to lunch here, but that's just the way I view it, right? I don't view that men should take a hand to their wife to keep her in line, as Sean Connery and Muslims like to think. What I mean to say is that there has to be sort of an underlying understanding of what the physical roles of each are, and how that physical how those roles need to be maintained, and if so, they need to be maintained at the hand of one who is the leader, and that leader naturally has to be the physically more capable one.
Where's Trinity?
She's outside. I tried to get her to come in. She hasn't come in yet. But like I said, maybe I'm completely off the mark. I don't know.
I don't think you're off the mark. I just think, yeah, it's that, like, each is leader in their element.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like think about it. You don't look at your walls and go, these need to be repainted.
No.
They're fine. It's your wife says, Craig, we need to paint these walls. And you're like, fuck. So you go out and you get the paint, and then you come home and she stands there and says, okay, go ahead. And now you paint the fucking walls, right? So
No, I hire a painter because I don't like painting. But I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, right. So in your elements, based on your capacities and your tendencies, you're each the boss of certain things, right? That's how it's supposed to work, right? Like, the opposite of competition is not cooperation. It's in concert, right? The bass doesn't play the exact same thing that the guitar is playing, right? You have to play two different things together. That's what music is.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Keeping a household is a concerted effort in the most basic of biological terms, right? Down to like the, what do you call it? Fucking gopher. Let's say gophers mate for life, and they're like, male female pair bonding gophers, right? The male gopher's got a role in keeping the den, and the female role golfer has a role with response to the den. The only thing I'm saying is that if the female starts to shirk in her duties, which she knows, then it will be up to the male to say, get back to work, do what you need to do. You're failing this fucking family of gophers, right? And at the same point, if the male gopher shirks its responsibility, there will be a comeuppance from the female. Now, it might not come up in the form of physical response, but it might be, oh, really? You like sticking your gopher dick in my gopher pussy? Well, that's not going to happen. She might restrict access, basically.
You know what I'm thinking about?
Gopher pussy?
Lions. No, lions. Okay, so a male lion can copulate 50 times a day.
Yeah.
Thing is, he has a pride. He has more than one lioness. So if more than one lioness is in heat, he won't be able to copulate with all of them repeatedly to the amount that they'd like. And if he gets tired and runs out, the unsatisfied female will chase him around, biting his nuts. You see the poor lion just running away. He won't strike back. He just tries to run.
Well, yeah, because even still, he might not be liking to get his balls bit, but he also knows that like I like having sex too, right? So yeah. CMAC is the boss of everything. Well, yeah, in your household for sure. Yeah, because you're the matriarch and there's no guy around. And apparently your ex is a total piece of crap. Anyway, that's why it's right. Well, just statistically speaking, households do better, families do better when there are a mother and father in the house. Not just a father part of their situation. They have to reside. They have to be together, and they have to be raising the children together, and they have to be keeping the house together. We're still on to whom it may concern. What the fuck am I doing?
Oh, you never changed the thing. That's all.
Do you have any oddities you might want to share, sir?
Nothing's come up.
All right, we'll skip on the New Rings oddities. Let's go to immediately to Pox Toxics. Toxic takes. Bear with me for a moment while I pull up the Pox Toxics toxic takes from last week. You shared a lot of wholesome shit this past week. Let's see what I can find here. All right, one moment here. Who is Jesus Christ? The one person Jews hate more than Adolf Hitler. Who is Jesus Christ is the answer. Are you muted? I can't hear you.
Oh no, I just yeah, that's
You're muted, Mr. Twin. Am I muted too?
No, I hear you just fine.
I can't hear you. Anyway.
What? Can you hear me now?
Mothman stole my catalytic converter at Point Pleasant, West Virginia. That's awesome. Go gadget, first degree murder. Actually, yeah. Maybe today, Satan. Well, that's my curtain. CMAC was giving me shit because I said I have a Gadsden flag as a curtain in my office. She got very upset by that.
Well,
apparently that's a no-no. You shouldn't do that. There's my puppy. Twin, what happened to your voice? I can't hear you. Get in here. Come on.
You
come.
You still can't hear me? Chat, can you hear me? Is it just Craig?
I lost Twin.
Did he turn off his
Okay.
If someone in the chat can hear me, please fucking type something.
I can hear you. Could the people hear you? I guess is the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Because you got me back now, yeah?
Yep, I got you now. Maybe it's because I shared it. It killed your audio, but I didn't have audio
maybe
on that.
Touched something. Yeah, CMAC can hear me, unfortunately.
I can hear it, unfortunately. The old windmill flag on the other window. Windmill flag?
You don't remember that? The kid drew a windmill and got an F because he put speed lines on the windmill.
And it made it look like a swastika? I don't appreciate you.
I don't appreciate
you. Fuck, that's hilarious. So those are Pox Toxic stuff. There might be more. Let me just check and see what else we got. Okay, we already covered that. This was pretty good. I'm just going to read this one. Someone on, I think it might have been Discord or Facebook, I'm not sure, says, all the Redditors, Ryan Long, all the Redditors, Dylan Cameron says to Ryan Long, all the Redditors I know are actually anti-fascist, actually. He didn't use the actually twice. Nice try. And then, Adam Harold responded with,
Jesus Christ.
Dylan Cameron, if Redditors put more effort into being anti-calorie, maybe they wouldn't be the butt of all the jokes all the time. That's pretty fucking funny. Feels bad, man. And that's the last of it. Yeah, CMAC did not like that I had a had a gasket
flag
flying
window.
out my window. Actually, that's why it's right. My kid turned out better than the schmuck. Yep, no doubt. I can hear Twin, unfortunately. Actually, and Pox Toxics covering space. I don't know why. Did I? I hope I didn't dox you or dox anybody. Give me that. All right. He's gonna give me shit now in this stream. Why'd you post that? Because you shared it. My favorite. I'm everybody's favorite doxer. The constant doxer. You know what? Look, I doxed myself first. I went out there and put my real name out there from the get-go. And I say the most edgiest, worst shit. If anybody should be canceled, it should be me. You guys say clever, edgy shit. I'm not trying to dox you, just to be sure. And after that rant tonight, to whom it may concern, I have a feeling I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. But we'll see.
I don't know why I found this. I like to share it if you let me.
Absolutely.
If I was on that plane with my kids, it wouldn't have went down like it did. There would have been a lot of blood in that first class cabin. Mark Wahlberg talking about an ordinary flight from Vietnam that landed safely.
Fuck, that's hilarious. Oh, that's pretty good. What are you growling at? Kenzie, ow, watch your teeth. Trinity was cooped up in the house all day because we went to this play. And so she's full of fucking energy right now. She wants to play. Go get it.
She wants to play giraffe?
She wants to play, yeah, with the giraffe. Oh, what else have we got, sir? Doing any gaming lately, apart from playing City Heroes with me last night? Folks, if you're not aware, you're new to the channel, new to the Ammunation live stream. Every Friday night, I play City of Heroes and live stream it for about 2 hours. Sometimes Twin joins me. Sometimes he just hangs out in the chat and reads it for me. And sometimes he plays with me. So that sounds terrible. Sometimes he plays City of Heroes alongside me.
I'm back on the Warhammer kick. I'm
good for you.
I try not to dox my friends that I give them, named characters in the game, so I can't always.
Yeah.
It can't always, right? But I was looking through some mods and stuff, and I'm like, oh fuck, really? I've got to find cool new mods, and I'm gonna have to restart the whole fucking campaign just to get the mods in there. But they're looking pretty slick, so I've got to come up with like a set that is like, okay, these are the mods I'm going to use. I'm going to play this right out. And
you really like those RTS and turn-based strategy type games, don't you?
What I like is what they call 4X, right? The 4 X's. Explore, right? So the map isn't revealed to you. You have to go around looking for stuff, find resources to exploit, right? Use those resources you're exploiting to build so that you can expand your empire or your whatever, and then you'll probably come across other empires and have to exterminate them, right? So explore, exploit, expand, exterminate. The 4X games, they can come in turn-based, they can come in real-time strategy, combinations of, but yeah, right? And or slow and grow, right? Like park building.
That is the tempo.
Yeah. Just like, where there's not like nothing's happening to you, you just got to maintain and watch your thing grow, right?
Yeah. I've discovered I'm not much of a gamer at all. People ask me to play games like Valheim and some other shit, and I'm like, I lose interest very, very quickly. Like I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. Yeah, okay, I'm building this thing. And Valheim, it's kind of like so I think the premise is basically you got Valhalla, right? Where all the Nords who fucking die in battle, they go to Valhalla. Well, the Nords who die and don't die in battle, they go to Valheim. So Valheim is just basically it's a wilderness, and you've got to survive there.
Mm.
And if you die, you just basically respawn. And there's monsters there, and there's creatures there, and you've got to, and you can explore Valheim and find other shit, find new materials. So it's a lot of like slow and grow. But there is the threat of mobs coming and attacking your settlement, coming and attacking you when you're out in the wild. So there's there's a combat element to it, but it's a
But like,
survival game.
Are you a single person?
You're a single dude, but you play it on you play it on a private server with other friends who also have their single dude in Valheim. So you can build like a group of 4 of you can build a fort and live in that fort, and you can all go fucking fishing and hunting sea serpents and shit like that. So yeah, that's Valheim. I played it for probably half an hour, and I had this idea. I want to build a tower, and I found that the building mechanics were they weren't clicky enough. They didn't lock enough. They were a little too loosey goosey. I'm like, okay, I'm bored with this. I'm not even having fun doing the one thing that I would enjoy doing. So, yeah, I'm not a gamer guy. There are games that I can spend a little while to pass the time. So, for instance, games like Dorf Romantic, I love that game. That's a fun game. Cityscaper or Townscaper, I should say.
Yeah, Townscaper.
Which isn't really a game. It's more of a digital toy, but it's fun. It's fun to just sit there and fucking build a little neighborhood out of these auto-generating tenement blocks. Anyway, I like it.
It's neat. I mean, it's more a creative project than a game.
Right.
There's no like goals or anything, right?
I think that's what I like about City Heroes. That's why I keep making characters, because I like making costumes. I like
sure, but there are goals. Like there's missions. You take on the missions and you go and you accomplish it, right?
Yeah.
Like where, not that I recommend EA games of any kind, but like SimCity, right?
Yeah.
There's no real goal other than manage the city, right? Like you can pick your own goals as you go.
Yeah.
But you don't like have to. Like you can, the thing about games like SimCity or the Park Builders is you are not in the game. There's no avatar of you going around. You're God outside the game, Deus Ex Machina, right?
Yeah.
And that's a kind of game that I enjoy, right?
Yeah, I remember playing SimCity a lot when the very first SimCity came out, like way back in the day on Windows 3.1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like SimCity a lot. I think over time they kind of overcomplicated it. I wish it would go back to like classic SimCity, where they've added a lot of elements to it that I'm like, I don't really need this. I really would rather not have that. But it is what it is.
I mean, they've just given you more stuff to do. You don't have to employ a lot of that stuff, right?
Right. I know that there's probably things I can turn on and off. Right? So.
No, I mean, like you just don't have to use it. It remains pretty much the same, right? You choose where the roads are and you zone.
Yeah.
And then you got to give people power and water.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If you want to start going into oil drilling and plastic refining, that's up to you. Like you don't have to actually start going there, right?
Yeah, when you first start playing the new SimCity, then they try and sort of coax you along a certain path. Hey, your people need jobs. You should build a fucking quarry or some shit like that. Like your people are demanding that you have a stadium because they want to play football in it and stuff like that. I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to.
They just throw you suggestions as you go.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe I don't want a stadium though.
You don't have to, right? Like that's the best part. You can build like.
But then it's like a side quest that I feel like I've got to fulfill it. So when I'm playing City Heroes, like the fun for me is creating a character, coming up with an idea, coming up with costume design, and then bring it into the world, and then trying out the power sets, and I want to level them all the way up, but to me that's kind of secondary. The stories are they kind of repeat themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's cool to unlock new powers and find out what I can do now. Like last night, I unlocked a new attack power, and I loved it. I was like doing this like
in a circle,
this roundhouse kind of attack, and it hit everybody in a circle. It was awesome. Anyway,
no, see, but I'm literally doing the same thing, but with a city, right? I can choose the same map over and over again, and then lay out the roads differently, put the different sectors in different places, try to pre-plan for, oh, my stadium will go here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm dressing up the city and leveling it up by letting it grow, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's the same thing, just more, I don't know, towards the inanimate stuff, right? Like, well, what the one time I actually did have a game running on Casual AF
Yes.
was The Sims. I was just building a house. I wasn't even playing.
Yeah. You've also done the
Throwing
Warhammer game, the Age of or Kislev one, right? You've done that
What's
Warhammer game too. You've
Oh,
done that
maybe
Warhammer game too, yeah.
Yeah, a little, but
Hey, speaking of City Heroes and all these other games, CMAC joined our little super group and was playing with us for a while. She was the one who was like leveling up before everybody else. She
Yeah,
got up to
fun.
level 20, but I haven't looked if she's been playing at all recently. CMAC, have you been in the City of Heroes at all recently? Playing at all?
And
No answer.
even though you're not big into the games, you did seem to have some interest in Project Zomboid, which just seems like it could be like a fun fucking game, right?
I don't know what it is though. I don't know what type of game it is. Is it like a strategy survival type game or?
Yeah, but it's like it's old school. It looks like a NES 2D platformer,
Oh, okay.
right?
So you have a
And-
dude and you're like exploring this area, or you have a
Yeah.
Oh,
The
cool.
thing is,
Okay.
It's made specifically for a group of people. Like you can play it on your own and go
Yeah.
solo, but there's an option when you buy it to get a discount to buy 4 copies and give it to 3 friends so that they can play. Right?
Okay.
And because that's if you get a group of 4 people, right, then you have a much better chance of being able to survive, right?
Interesting.
So, yeah, and like you should watch the. You know what? If you can, do you have Steam? Pull up Steam.
Steam. Yeah, I do. I could probably just pick up Project Zomboid on YouTube though.
Oh yeah, but they've got a very cool. What do you call that? Like a preview for the game. It's actually pretty dark and neat.
All right. Project Zomboid trailer. This is how I died. YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Uno momento. Let me share this so we can take a look.
Because it does, like, it's got that classic look and feel with probably more modern mechanics to it, and with the group element that you couldn't really have on like an NES. Oh, full screen this shit too.
Yep. All right. You can all see that. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Oh no, this is it. No, this isn't it. Is this it?
This is how I died. Yeah.
1 second here.
What did you do?
I had the wrong one up.
You sure? Look.
I was looking at the wrong one. That's what happened. Sorry. All right.
Full screen.
Live at the military blockade, the message is clear. The Knox event is contained. I repeat, the Knox event is contained.
What happened here? What's happening here? It's not contained. I had to find what I needed to survive and fight. But there were too many. And this is how I died. The next time, I was smarter. I moved between the shadows, between the infected. But I wasn't smart enough. And this is how I died. I knew I had to leave this place. I found an empty farmhouse, a place where they'd never find me. I prepped, built defenses. I farmed, I fished, and found a generator to keep me warm through winter. But it needed fuel. There was a gas station back out on the road. I took the car and risked the noise it made. But I would never make it home. This is Project Zomboid. Survive together. Build. Scavenge. Fight. Die.
And then do it all again. Oh my god, that looks terrifying.
Zomboid.
I know, right? Like, doesn't it just look...
Rival
But
RPG.
it's too silly to be terrified. Like, it shouldn't be as intense feeling as
Yeah.
it is based on the look of the game, and it just looks like so much fun.
It does look like fun, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty cool. Ah, all right. I think we're nearing the end here. Hey, Mr. Twin, did you know that no one tells jokes anymore?
I know, it's kind of sad. Yeah.
I mean, tonight's broadcast was kind of a joke. I was speaking pretty glibly about a lot of stuff. And that's kind of funny, I guess, if you like glib stuff. But there's got to be a joke out there.
Well, I mean, it's not properly a joke, but you're gonna laugh.
Go for it.
Here you go. You just share that if you would.
Oh, one moment. Oops. One moment. Sorry. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. That's a great meme. Just the look on his face. That's funny. I'm gonna try and get a joke from. So I'm using the Opera browser. Are you familiar with Opera?
I am not.
It's a new browser that's very multifunctional. It employs AI in a lot of its little add-ons and whatnot. It's kind of nice. It's got a built-in VPN if you want to enable it. So
Cool.
it's kind of cool, and it's free. Like, you don't have to pay for it. You can just download it. You just have to basically set it up so that all of your regular bookmarks you would normally use on Chrome or whatever browser you use are now bookmarks on that. And you have to make it so that your credentials are all set up on Opera as well, because Chrome knows when I want to access something that I've logged into before, and it just logs me in.
Yeah.
Opera needs to be taught to do that, so to speak. Let's see here. I had a joke. Let's see. Aria. Aria is their AI tool. All right. So I said, Aria said, "How can I help?" I said, "Tell me a joke." Aria said, here's a lighthearted joke for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other?
I don't know. Why don't skeletons fight each other?
They don't have the guts.
That's pretty good for an AI, not gonna lie.
I'm sure it sounds. All right, let me try and see. Tell me another one. Something of your own creation. Let's see how good it is at creating jokes. Of course, here's an original one for you. Why don't we ever tell secrets on a farm?
I don't know. Why don't we ever tell secrets on a farm?
Because the potatoes have eyes and the corn has ears.
Ooh.
It's fucking heady. Actually, that's pretty cool that it understands the...
I was gonna say, like, it's not particularly funny, but it is clever.
Yes, it is.
I don't like the idea of clever AI. Burn it down.
Oh, its cleverness only comes from the fact that it understands the notion of the nodules on a potato are known as eyes, but they're not literal eyes, and corn grows in what are known as ears, but they're not literal ears. So it understands the idea of literal and figurative, which is kind of cool for an AI. I'm gonna give it a response of well done. See what it says to me.
So
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you need anything else, feel free to ask.
So this isn't a joke, but if you share it again, it is kind of funny.
All right. I want to close this. Hold on. Un momento.
You wake up. You're still a lizard sitting on a rock. It was all a dream. The concept of selling feet pics to pay back student loans is already losing its meaning as you lick your eyeballs to clean them of dust and sand. Time to eat a bug.
That's fucking creepy and off.
I
That's
know,
weird,
right?
man. That's good. Well, folks, it's about that time. We've had a wonderful, wonderful live stream with you all. I hope you've all enjoyed it to some degree. I hope you'll stick around. And I hope if you're new here, you'll come back next time we do an Ammunation live stream. But until then, we will be doing a Casual AF live stream. That will be next Saturday on Mr. Twin's channel.
Yes, sir.
And next Friday, I'll be doing Friday night City of Heroes gaming. Starts around 10, goes to around midnight, and I'll have a good time. Mr. Twin may or may not be in tow. He may play. He may just hang out in the chat. We'll see what happens. It's
getting drunk and shit on your stream.
He might, yeah. That might happen. It's very casual, much like Casual AF, but yeah. I had a great time. But I actually game. That's right. That's right. I actually game. I had a great time. I didn't write that. Boo hiss. Was she talking about the joke?
Yeah. The AI didn't write that.
It didn't write that. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably not. I think Aura's lying to us. Yeah, I've heard something similar to that ears and eyes thing. Boo hiss, it says. She says. Okay. Folks, thanks again for hanging out. If you're not subscribed, please do. I would like to get up to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize. I've been putting out shorts. I don't know if you've been watching them at all, Twin. Have you?
I haven't seen your shorts.
If you go to my channel, you see I've got a few shorts. It's just the puppies at the park. I'm not doing anything political. I just
but
a minute long.
To you, and it doesn't come up in my feed.
Yeah. Do you watch shorts at all on YouTube?
There's always a list of shorts in my feed especially when I open it on the computer, right? On the desktop.
Yeah, I think you have to actually actively watch shorts for it to start making recommendations to you.
But why wouldn't it recommend? It does recommend shorts. It just doesn't recommend shorts of people to whom I'm already subscribed.
I know, because it's fucking dumb. That's why. Anyway, folks, we're gonna call it a night. I've been doing some shorts. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get up to a certain number of shorts hours watched, so that I can hit to the monetization point. Because if I could do that, then I can quit my job and my wife can support me, and I can just make money on YouTube and say I contribute to this household, and yeah, I'll never have to work a day in my life. No, I'm just joking. It'd just be fun to get to more subscribers. So take care. You all have a great night, and remember, if there's a God, he's laughing at us and our football team. Good night, all.
Hail Sigmar.